Well, it's official. And I must say, I'm intrigued by the idea of Cup Series cars racing in the streets of downtown Chicago, but I wish I was more excited. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. Big news today, it's official. The NASCAR Cup Series will race in downtown Chicago next summer, July 1st and 2nd, 2023. IMSA will join them, so they will be the companion series for that weekend. It was made official today in Chicago with NASCAR President Steve Phelps present. Ben Kennedy, of course, in charge of a lot of these radical schedule decisions. He was there, he was a part of this announcement, so was Bubba Wallace. Of course, his team owner is pretty well known in the city of Chicago. The mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, was there. Other city officials were there present for this announcement. It's been the worst kept secret the last few months. We've known for a while now that this deal was likely to be announced sometime soon, but now it's here. It's official, and everyone's got a reaction. I'm not going to do what other commentators are doing. I'm not going to tell you how to feel. I'm not going to try and guess what large portions of the fan base think about this decision. I'm just going to tell you how I feel about it, and maybe it'll resonate with you, maybe it won't. First, let's get a few of the key details out of the way. Again, the weekend will be July 1st and 2nd, 4th of July weekend. NASCAR confirmed this will replace the Road America Cup Series slot on the schedule. Now, NASCAR didn't say anything about Xfinity or truck, so there is still a possibility of NASCAR racing at Road America next year, but no Cup Series. Like I said, IMSA will be there and will race on the same circuit the same weekend. The NASCAR race will be broadcast on NBC, big NBC. Here's a look at the layout. It's a 12-turn, 2.2-mile course. The exact same layout, I believe, as the one we saw in iRacing a year or so ago. So if you remember that Pro Invitational race last year, it's the exact same layout, just in the real world, all around, Buckingham Fountain, up and down the coast of Lake Michigan, a very scenic spot of downtown Chicago, I must say. NASCAR will be promoting the race themselves, presumably with some assistance from the city of Chicago, but that's the gist of it. Those are the details. So now let's get to the reaction part of this show. There is a lot to be excited about, obviously. The NASCAR Cup Series heading to a major city on a holiday weekend, taking over the streets of Chicago. This is an awesome marketing opportunity for stock car racing. Chicago is the third largest city in the United States. It's the third largest television market. It's a big sports town. I mean, their fans are certainly very hardcore up or down on their sports teams. They can be difficult to please at times, but they do love their sports. We'll see if that translates to racing, but when you got race cars tearing through major streets in downtown, I mean, it's gonna be tough to ignore. It's over a year away, but it's safe to predict that turnout will be immense. Anytime you run a race in the middle of a city street where just the casual viewer has no choice but to stop and watch some, it's going to draw in large crowds. Some screenshots going around today, some renderings of little suites, different booths they'll have set up for maybe fans, some VIPs. So the city and NASCAR are gonna go all out. This is going to be an experience for the fans. Clearly, there will be a huge emphasis put on the fans that show up and attend in person. That's the goal. NASCAR is going to a market that it has never truly served. They've raced at Chicagoland Speedway for years, but that's a mile and a half located an hour outside the city. There is a huge difference between Joliet, Illinois and Chicago, Illinois. The goal of this race is to expose NASCAR stock car racing to completely new audiences, people who've maybe never watched a NASCAR race in their lives, and racing on the streets of downtown Chicago will accomplish that. New people will see the sport. Like almost against their will. Like you're just not gonna be able to miss it. We're taking over a major city. This is also exciting because it continues a trend of new, fresh ideas. NASCAR is not sitting still, especially when it comes to making changes to the schedule. Steve Phelps, president of NASCAR, said a couple months ago, they want to continue to be bold and innovative. This is both of those things. I never in my lifetime thought we'd see NASCAR Cup Series cars racing, like actually racing in a major city environment. Yet here we are. I respect the boldness, I respect the creativity. Let's hope it goes off smoothly. So there is a ton to be excited about, no doubt about it. Anything this new, this flashy, this big is gonna get people amped up. Or at least it should. So I'm a young fan, I'm 24 years old, I've been watching NASCAR pretty religiously since I was about 7 years old. I've had weeks if not months to get used to this news. We've basically known this was happening for at least a month. Yet for some reason today, I don't feel as excited as I think NASCAR wants someone like me to feel. Like, I'm a young fan who does not live in a traditional racing market. I don't live in the Carolinas. I don't live in Nashville, Florida, the Midwest. I'm the kind of fan who I think NASCAR wants a move like this to appeal to. And like I said, I'm highly intrigued. I am excited, but I don't think I'm as excited as they would want me to be. And there are a few reasons why I think this announcement rings hollow to someone like me. And the first one is that there's really no NASCAR history in Chicago. Yeah, I know they used to race inside of Soldier Field like 60 years ago, but no one thinks of Chicago and NASCAR as being two peas in a pod. They really don't have that close or that historic of a relationship together. It feels like NASCAR was picked last for kickball on the playground. It feels like they looked around and saw Formula One scoop up Las Vegas and Miami for future street races. Then they saw IndyCar scoop up Nashville, a up and up trending city. And NASCAR said, oh shoot, we gotta do a street race. Chicago's a big city. They like their Chicago Bears. We'll go there. It feels like no additional logic was applied. They said, oh, that's a big city, lots of people. That means high TV ratings, high attendance. Let's do that. It feels like no additional critical thought was put into it. Like, is Chicago the actual right market for NASCAR to target? Does the city really want us to be there? Do we even need a street race in the summer? Is that actually something NASCAR needs at this point in time? Is sacrificing Road America the right decision? It feels like none of that was really given any serious thought. I know it was. I'm sure it was brought up in meetings and in boardrooms, but from a fan's perspective, it certainly doesn't feel like it was. NASCAR does not have any serious ties to the city of Chicago. Hell, they've raced in a city an hour outside of Chicago for the past 20 years. That's one reason it feels a little hollow. The second reason is I'm a little worried about the product. You know, street racing, I don't think is gonna work great with these cars. It'll work better with the next gen cars than it would with the Gen 6, but I don't expect a fantastic race. It's a narrow course. You look at the layout, I don't know how many passing zones there really will be. I don't think we'll see a lot of passing. I've said in the past, I'm okay with a mediocre race if it means we can bring the product to thousands of new fans, but I'd still like to see a good race if we can make that happen, and I'm not confident the Chicago street race will be a good race. As a racing fan, not just a casual sports fan, as a racing fan, I'd like to see a good race if at all possible. And lastly, the number one reason I think this announcement feels a little hollow today is because it's confirmed we're losing Road America, or at least the Cup Series won't race at Road America next year. I said last year after the first Road America July 4th weekend that this should be the start of a new tradition. I love Daytona, the second Daytona race being the regular season finale. July 4th, America's independence at Road America, the over 100,000 fans who showed up last year. I don't think this year got quite the same level of attendance, but it was still pretty close. People showed up, the environment was fantastic. A great 4th of July tradition was right there. A brand new yearly spectacular event was right there at NASCAR's fingertips. And we're bailing on the idea just 2 years in. That just doesn't sit right with me. And look, I know TV ratings for last year's race and this year's race weren't great, but attendance was fantastic. And what have we always said for years? If you don't want your track to lose a date, you better show up and attend. Well, the fans in Wisconsin, the fans of Road America, did show up and attend in pretty major fashion the last 2 years, and they're still losing their race anyways. So now we can't fall back on that old argument. I understand there are complicated contracts and agreements in place. Sure, everyone would love to drop a Texas date in favor of maybe the Chicago street course. But current agreements won't allow that to happen. I understand why it had to be Road America, an independently owned track that was basically on a year-to-year deal with NASCAR. I get why, but that doesn't mean I have to be happy about it, or it doesn't mean it doesn't have to sit right with me. I feel bad for the fans in Wisconsin who showed up and supported the Cup Series, supported Road America the last 2 years. I'm sure some of them will make the drive a couple hours south to Chicago and maybe check out the street race, but it's not the same thing. So I do feel bad for those fans. This is the textbook definition of chasing the new fan at the expense of your existing fans. That's what's happening right here. And Steve Phelps said just a couple years ago that NASCAR wouldn't do this kind of thing. Yet, here we are. They're taking an existing date from a track that loyal race fans were attending in favor of a new experimental race in a new market, attempting to grab the attention of the casual sports fan. We'll see if it works. I love that NASCAR is trying new things. This is a bold, expensive investment into the sport's future. That's great. I just hope it's money well spent. As I talked about a few weeks ago on an episode, I worry that NASCAR right now does not have the surrounding infrastructure built up to retain any new fans they get from a Chicago street race. So that's another thing that has me worried that maybe this is too much too soon. Maybe they won't be able to maximize this experiment, this investment. I love trying new things, but not at the expense of something like Road America. I applauded the Roval. It turned into a huge hit. I applauded Coda. Even though it rained, I think the first race and even the second race have been popular with fans. Nashville Super Speedway. Obviously everyone wants the fairgrounds, but take what you can get. It was a success last year. It was fun to go this year. Bristol Dirt has seen better ratings and better attendance for that spring race the last couple of years. The Clash at the Coliseum. I was there. It was a huge hit. I'm thrilled they're going back next year, and I'd actually like to see that concept applied elsewhere for maybe the All-Star race in the near future. I've loved so many of NASCAR's recent schedule changes, but because many of them had a clear reasoning behind them. The only explanation I can gather for the Chicago street course is, well, it's a big city, a lot of people who haven't seen racing before, let's do it. I think that's why I'm not quite as excited about this as NASCAR wants me to be. I say all this, but I'll probably be at next year's race. I am very intrigued. I'm very curious to see how NASCAR executes this thing. But it's curiosity, not excitement. That's the emotion, I guess. Is curiosity an emotion? I don't know if that's an emotion, but I'm going to use it as an emotion in this case. Maybe that's good enough. Maybe NASCAR is betting that thousands of people like me will be curious, not excited, but curious enough to buy a ticket, to show up, to maybe give it a view on TV. And I guess maybe that will make this event worthwhile. I'm sure many of you have already left comments before getting to the end of the video, but I do want to hear what you guys think. How do you feel about the Chicago street race replacing Road America? Do you think this race has a long-term future? I think the plan tentatively is to host this for the next couple of years, but we'll see. Things can always happen fast. Share your thoughts down below. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We talk NASCAR news, we recap races, and much, much more every single day here on Out of the Groove. And as always, a big thank you to my Patreon supporters as well. I truly appreciate your support. We'll be back again tomorrow. Lots more to talk about before Pocono this weekend, the Tricky Triangle, the playoffs right around the corner, these final 6 races. Very, very important, very, very interesting. Can't wait for Pocono this weekend. Thanks for watching, y'all. I will see you in the next video.